Hi book friends, I'm Addie and this is Books and Tea Time. How are you? What's up? What are you reading these days? Let me know in the comments below. I'm excited to be filming so much. I just finished my undergrad degree and I have so much time to read and film, and it has honestly been amazing. I love it and I'm so excited because I'm starting a new series today. I hadn't really planned on doing this, and then it kind of dawned on me that this would be a great idea. A few months ago in February, I made a video where I listed all of the fantasy series that I want to start in 2021. And I was just planning on making that video for like myself and for you all, so you can kind of know where I'm going next in fantasy, in addition to all the fantasy series that I'm already reading. So then I thought it would be really cool to have a series of vlogs on my channel where I read the first book in all of those series over the next few months. And the first book is a book that I'm very excited about, and we are reading it today in this video, and that is UNSOULED by Will White, which is the first book in the Cradle series. I believe there are 9 books out in this series now, but I don't think the 9th book is the last book from what I understand. I had never heard about this series, I had never heard about Will White, but I also recently, at the very beginning of the year, I think in January, followed a new booktube channel, which I think is honestly one of my favorite channels now, and I'm not just saying that because they inspired me to read this video, but it is QNTG. That's like the name of their channel. It is 2 guys, 2 best friends who read a lot of fantasy, watch anime, and play video games. And honestly, those are all like my favorite things. It's amazing. They are absolutely freaking hysterical. I watched one of their videos and I ended up binging a bunch of them because they're just so funny. I don't know, their humor speaks to my humor. And also, they read a lot of the fantasy that I know that I really love, and they read a lot of fantasy that I want to read. So I automatically developed a trust for their taste in fantasy specifically, but also just in all the books that they read and recommend, and they really speak so highly of this series on their channel. Both of them have spoken about how much they love it, and how when the 9th book came out, they like set aside time to just read it because that's how much they love Will White and his writing. So I had to check it out. So I put it on that list and I ordered the first book, which is UNSOULED, and in this video we're gonna read it and see if it's worth the hype. Shout out and thank you to QNTG for putting this book on my radar. I'm so excited to read this series and to talk about it with you all. So yeah, I haven't decided what I'm going to call this series. I have a few ideas in mind. I was thinking my 2021 Fantasy Adventure series, and this will be episode 1. I feel like that's in keeping with the theme of fantasy, you know, adventure and traveling to all these different worlds. So if you want, I'll have a card to that video where I tell you all the series that I want to read, and I'll have it linked down below so you can go and watch that video. And if you really want to see me read one of the other books on that list, let me know. Stormlight Archives is on that list. The Name of the Wind is on that list. Some books by Nnedi Okorafor, N.K. Jemisin. There are a lot of books on that list. There's so much fantasy that I want to read and just very little time. But now that I have a lot of time, I want to read it all. So that's what we're going to do. And we're starting in a great place with a very readable sized fantasy. Hope you guys enjoy this video, and I will have QNTG's channel linked down below. Please go check them out. So funny. Their content is so like creative and new. They do these like rap reviews of Brandon Sanderson, which is absolutely hilarious. I love that they have like a to be read, a to be watched, and a to be gamed list every month. They did a March Madness fantasy bracket. Just next level hilarious creative content, and they have great taste in fantasy. So if you're a fantasy reader, definitely go check them out. But without further ado, let's get into the video, let's get into the reading and see what this book is all about. What's up, friends? I'm here for the very first check-in of this reading vlog. So first I have some book mail to share with you guys. Then I'm gonna share my very first update for Unsouled. I am really making progress right now. I'm on page 170. I'm a little over the halfway point. I think this is like 280 pages, and I'm really glad, and I think I'm making pretty good progress being over halfway done already. It is Sunday. I do have to work today, so I am going to be going to work right after I finish filming this clip, and then when I get home tonight, I have to work on some of my finals for my last semester of undergrad. So exciting. Really looking forward to being done so I can continue to binge all of my books, all of the fantasy I want to read. But I definitely am going to prioritize finishing this book in the upcoming week. Before we get into my Unsouled update, I ordered, I think, 5 or 6 books from Thrift Books the other day, and 2 of them came in the mail already. They're coming like one by one, like not all at the same time. And the first one is this amazing used edition of Sula by Toni Morrison. I love this cover. When I ordered it online, this isn't the cover that was like in the little picture, but I'm so glad that I got this cover. I love the yellow and the birds and this stunning, fashionable person here on the front cover, who I believe is Sula. And then, to continue in this fantasy trend, this new fantasy I'm trying this year trend, I got The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, which is the first book in like a pretty long fantasy series. I don't actually know how many books are supposed to be in the series. I think there's like 4 or 5 out right now. Ooh, I'm just noticing that under the dust jacket we've got this cool design, this red cover, really cool. So I'm really looking forward to this book because from what I understand it's all about like clairvoyance. That's my mini book haul for you guys. Let's chat. So as I said, I'm on page 170, chapter 14, and I am pleasantly confused. That's just my mood with this book right now. There is so much happening. The world is so interesting and it's so rich. It's like a Brandon Sanderson level world building in like a tenth of the time, which part of me kind of likes that because, you know, I love a good, long, thick fantasy book, but I also really love books that aren't like 800 plus pages. See so much potential for all of the really cool things that this world and the magic system and everything has to offer. So I did decide that I wanted to annotate this a little bit as another part of this fantasy project, this starting new fantasy series in 2021. I really wanted to annotate this, so I picked out a couple of highlighter colors. I have been tabbing some really cool passages that I like. I'm just gonna read you guys my color system so you know like kind of what I'm looking at here, what I'm looking for, so on and so forth. So the very first thing, I have this like this light blue color for magic system and world building stuff because it's so rich and there's so much going on that I just don't know how to keep track of it other than by annotating. Magic, how to wield magic, clan magic, the world building, everything like that. I have been using this blue highlighter for. My next color, I've just been observing some gender conventions, how the book both pushes the boundaries on gender, how we have some really cool female characters, but also the idea of like the elders of the clan being traditionally male figures, patriarchs, etc. I've just been really interested in tracking that, so I have a green for that. Then this purpley color is for all the mentions of Unsouled. So our main character, Lyndon, is unsouled, which means that in the eyes of his clan, he doesn't have a soul and therefore doesn't have the ability to practice the magic or like the sacred arts, which is the magic system in this world. So because he's unsouled and people think that he doesn't have a soul because he failed this test, that tells you what kind of magic suits your like personality or your nature. He failed that test, so he is known as Unsouled, which is the title of the book. And so I've just been tracking like what it means to be unsouled in their society, how he's dehumanized and marginalized because of his difference, what the powers or potential of his nature as unsouled might be. I've just been tracking a lot of that stuff with this purple color. Then we have orange, which is world politics, because there is a lot of interesting politics. Honor and pride are very, very essential in this world. If you aren't honorable and you don't represent your family and your clan honorably, it's punishable by death or by public, like, whipping. And things like that. It's very, very important to this society that you act with courage, etc. And also there's just really cool things happening in the world of politics, and so I'm interested in tracking that. And then I just have this brown color for other interesting passages that just strike my attention. The first like 90 pages or so, it's really, really good, and you're in this valley called the Sacred Valley where Lyndon lives, and there are 3 clans in the Sacred Valley, and Lyndon belongs to the Wei clan, I think is how you would pronounce it. We're just kind of following his life and him trying to find sort of loopholes in history and in the archives of his clan and his community to make up for the fact that he is unsouled, or try and like forge his own path. And then all of a sudden, there's a chapter where the world is just absolutely cracked open. And I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it, but it was just such a pleasant surprise to see you start in this really hyper-focused location on one character, his experience in the world, and he is kind of indirectly teaching you about all of the clan magic because he doesn't have clan magic, so you experience a lot of the clan and a lot of the magic system through him. And then all of a sudden, Will White just like zooms out, and like I said, there's just, I see so much potential, which is why I'm really excited that this is a long series. So Lyndon just arrived at this school, and I'm not really sure what's going to happen in the last 100 pages, but I'm very, very excited because I think we're going to meet another huge main character in the series very, very soon. That's kind of foreshadowed a few chapters ago, that we're going to meet another really important character, and I'm really, really excited to meet this character if that happens soon. Sorry if I'm not doing this world and this magic system justice, but I just feel like I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's happening. I'll keep updating you guys on my progress. Okay, time for another check-in. It's several days later now. I don't even remember the last time that I actually checked in, but I'm so excited to tell you that I am officially done with my undergraduate degree. I finished all my finals, I sent them all in, I've already got 2 grades back, and I'm very pleased with myself, I'm very happy, I'm so excited. Graduation is technically tomorrow, although it's virtual, so I'm not actually going anywhere. I'm gonna read so much. I can't even tell you. I'm so excited. And I'm gonna start by finishing Unsouled. So I have progressed a little bit since we last talked. I am now on page 205, and that is chapter 16. So I'm gonna try and finish this tonight. I only have like 70 pages. Wow. It is pouring down rain outside. I don't know if you can hear that. Does anybody else really love rain sounds? I'm still really enjoying it. We've shifted setting a little bit, and we're now on top of this mountain at this really prestigious school. We're inching closer and closer to meeting our next, like, main character, I think. Her name is Yaren, I think is how you would pronounce it. So, our main character, Lyndon, is looking for her. I believe she's kind of like an enemy of, like, the territory that he's in and of, like, the school where he's at right now. One thing that I really like about Lyndon's character is that he is willing to work for, like, power and to work to get to, like, a position where he's special or where he's different. Like, I love fantasy, but, like, it's such a common trope that, like, the chosen one, or, you know, someone who's just born with special power that makes them better, or born with a destiny that makes them better. But what I really love about Lyndon, and what I really, really loved about Tao from The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter, is that both of them, they're really making their own fate and working hard, and you see how hard they have to work and what they have to sacrifice and the pain that they have to go through to get power to create change, or to create new opportunities and situations for themselves, or like to protect what they love, or to avenge people that they love. So that's one thing that I really love about Lyndon's character, and I'm excited to see how his character arcs, because right now he's young and he's a little bit naive, and I think he gets a big head sometimes. But I don't really fault him for that because he's young, but I do really appreciate that he is just, like, he's willing to fight for what he loves, no matter, like, how dangerous it is, as someone who is unsouled and so on. So I'm really liking it. I'm going to try and finish it tonight. Then I'll give you my final thoughts, and we'll wrap this video up. But before we do that, I bought more books, so I wanted to show them off. 2 of these I got in the mail. They were like the continuation from the thrift books order when I got Sula and The Bone Season. I showed you guys those already. So I got 2 more that finally came in the mail, and those are The Trail of Lightning by Rebecca Roanhorse. This is the first book in a fantasy series by Rebecca Roanhorse. It's called the Sixth World series, and I think it's like a post-apocalyptic kind of a fantasy, which is really cool. I read Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse in November. I have like a 24-hour reading vlog where I try to read that in 24 hours if you're interested, and I really, really love that book, so I wanted to make a point of reading more Rebecca Roanhorse between now and when the next book in the Black Sun series comes out. So I got this, and I'm really excited to start it. This is another one of the books that's on my list of fantasy series I want to start in 2021, so you will see a future episode of this series based on this book, and if you want it to be sooner rather than later, let me know in the comments. Then I also got An Unkindness of Ghosts by River Solomon. I am so excited for this one because I read The Deep by River Solomon last summer, and I absolutely loved it. I cannot tell you how phenomenal that book is and how phenomenal Solomon's writing is, so I'm really excited for this because this is a science fiction novel. I don't know too much about it other than it takes place on this spaceship that's like trying to take humanity, or like the survivors of humanity, to another planet, I think, and the structure of the ship in terms of like politics and class and race is structured the way that the antebellum South is. Then I just got back from running errands with my mom, and I picked up a couple books while we were at the store because I have no self-control. The first one is Outlawed by Anna North. I've heard some mixed things about this, but like the premise just sounds so fascinating. This is a Western with a female main character. That's really all that I know about it, but the cover and the main character gives me like Ash from Overwatch vibes. I got Atomic Habits by James Clear. I got it at Target. You can obviously see because of this annoying sticker. It says building good habits and breaking bad ones. I think right now I'm going to sit down and try my darndest to finish Unsouled, and I'll check back in when I have more things to say. So, peace out. Hi friends, I am here for the final check-in of this Cradle Book 1 reading vlog because I finished Unsouled. Just as I told you I would. Milo is barking. I think the mailman's here because Milo is absolutely freaking out. I finished Unsouled and it was incredible. Let me tell you, the last 70 pages of this book are wonderful. I was really, really expecting that I was going to love Yaren, and I do. Oh my god, she's everything that I wanted and more. I was so excited. Literally, I told you all, I'm going to read the last 70 pages and I think I'm going to meet Yaren, and then like 2 pages into reading the last section of this book, we met her, and I was like, oh my god. She's amazing. She's so badass. She's funny. She's got like this sassy, snarky attitude to her, but also she's clearly grieving and going through a lot. I won't say why because I don't want to give away too much or like spoil anything. I'm really looking forward to the rest of the books in these series because like this book is like the setup. As any first book in a fantasy series is, we get an overflow of information about the world. We get all the information about the magic system, the politics, everything that's going on, but also Will White just sets up this massive universe that there's so much potential for like exploration over the next 9 books or 8 books in this series, and we've got these amazing characters that have just like the perfect bone structure of characters that I know that are just going to evolve and just flourish, and I'm so excited to see more of Yaren. I'm excited to see Lyndon's character arc and how he is going to adapt and change over the next books, and for new characters that we're going to meet. I definitely see where QNTG, like where their hype about this series comes from, and I can only imagine how much better it's going to get. I will say this book is an absolute information overload. There is such a rich, detailed, it's like Brandon Sanderson but packed into 270 pages in terms of world building. Like, Will White's world and everything that he writes is obviously unique and different from Sanderson, but if you've read Sanderson or if you've read other like really richly built worlds that take like hundreds of pages to develop, it's kind of like all of that packed into a very short book, which is overwhelming, but I don't dislike it because I know and I trust that over the next 8 books all of these little things are going to be explored and explained in detail, and I'm okay that we didn't get all that in the first book. I didn't expect that, if that makes sense. So it is an information overload, so be ready. Like, you jump in page 1 and you're like, what the heck is going on? And I still have so many questions. The epilogue, I'm just like, wow, I don't know. So I'm really glad that I annotated this book and like highlighted stuff about the world building and the politics so that maybe if I'm confused I can like flip through and come back and find explanations of things. Because one thing that I do hope that will be in the next books, but that I'm kind of disappointed that we don't get, is a glossary. I know that that's like not standard across all fantasy, but it is typical of fantasy and sci-fi that when you have worlds like this, that you have like a glossary or an index of some kind in the back. So I hope that maybe one of the next couple books will have that, but if not, I think I might just like try and make one of my own, because there are so many words and different like types of sacred artists, because like every person follows their own path and learns this particular type of magic system that matches their soul, etc., etc. So there's a lot. Really strong start. I absolutely love Yaren. Like, I cannot stress how great the last 70 pages of this book are. I already ordered books 2 and 3. They're coming in the mail. If you want to see vlogs while I read the next couple of books, or if you want me to keep vlogging this experience, don't forget to comment and let me know, because I will definitely do that. I think that I'm gonna give this like a 4-star, like a 3.75 4-star range, just because of the few critiques that I just said, but overall, incredibly strong start, and I anticipate that my ratings are just gonna go up from here. Comment down below if you've read this series, if you've heard of this series, and if not, check it out. If you like fantasy, if you like martial arts magic, if you like martial arts, you'd really like this. Will White describes it on like the very last page as mythical martial arts magic. That's like the premise of this series. I hope that I did the series justice. As I said, I'm still obviously really new and really confused on a lot of points. Yeah, if you made it this far in the video, what should I have you comment? If you made it this far in the video, comment a fox emoji. Are there fox emojis? I think there are fox emojis. The path that Lyndon's clan typically follows is the path of the white fox. And even though I don't anticipate Lyndon's gonna follow that strictly because he like makes his own path, etc., etc., that's a big a big thing in this book. So comment a fox emoji. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and I hope you check this series out. I'm definitely gonna check out the rest of the books in the series, and I look forward to doing so. Like, comment, and subscribe if that's your jam, and I'll see you in my next video. Happy reading, happy writing, and happy living. Bye!